Hello. Thank you guys for being patient for me to go get my Reese's Pieces. I don't leave home or to go to a fight without my Reese's, so I wouldn't be able to do an interview, wouldn't know what to say. I've been working on Reese's to hit me up. I don't even need sponsorship. I want to tell the truth. I want them they downsized their bag since like my 720 knockout. I had this really big jug and then I couldn't find it anywhere, so, you know.
So do you always prefer the pieces as opposed to the full peanut butter cup?
I like all of them, to be honest, but I prefer the Reese's Pieces for my fight because they're pieces, so everybody can have some. Sharing is caring.
Definitely want to get into your fight, but I want to ask you, kind of a unique moment over here, right? Not often that you see the wife of your opponent on the way to speak. So can you just talk about, you know, what was said there and why you felt the need to talk to her briefly?
Man, I have a wife now. I'm just recently married, 6 months, from Colby, Daniels. So I know what it is to go with your significant other through a fight camp. I know the highs, the lows that come with it. There's a lot of joy. There's a lot of pain, and we're in a hurting sport, so to speak, sometimes. So I know it can be an emotional roller coaster. So I just was showing my respect. My wife and I were talking about, we want to be the first like husband and wife to fight on the same card, but we didn't know if obviously that happened. And then sure enough, the same weekend, my opponent and his wife is fighting on the same card. I'm like, they just blew up our spot. You know what I mean? But no, just, you know, I enjoyed fighting her husband. I was looking forward to the challenge because he was very experienced, and I want to show the MMA world that I'm ready to level up, and I think he was that next level of what I needed, and I'm looking to continue to grow. And I was just, again, paying my respect. For me, I go out there and I compete, but I'm a martial artist at heart, so for me it's about the respect, focus, and discipline. So even though we're out there punching and kicking each other, I have no ill will towards my opponent or his family. And I want him to return to his wife and his children, just like I want to return to mine.
Very nice. Very dominant performance by yourself this evening. What did you think overall of how things went in there?
I mean, things went great. My coaches were happy with me. For me, I have different visions of different things that I want to do. You guys saw a little glimpse of it in my last fight with the 720. With this one, I had some different things that I wanted to perform, so I didn't necessarily get the finish that I wanted. I don't mind finishing with the ground and pound. I just don't think it's as elegant. It's not as sophisticated. I'm not able to finish it with my pinky up or something, you know, so to speak. But no, I like to have big finishes, things that'll be heard kind of like around the world. So I wasn't able to get that finish, but I did get the finish, but I was excited about it because I was at least able to show different elements of my game.
Yeah. Do you think there was an opportunity to maybe stop it before it was stopped?
Yeah, I think he was hurt. He was hurt really early. I hit him and sometimes you're not able to see those as the ref or as the crowd. When you hit somebody with like a good body shot, like it's like a person's internal organs just erupt, and he's on autopilot, so he's flying, but it's you know, and that shows his toughness and his grit to want to keep continuing, because I hit him with some really strong, clean body shots. My training partners, my man Jay over there was telling, he was like I'm a heavyweight, and he hit me and fractured my forearm with that kick right there, and I was like, and he was like he hit you one time with that. So yeah, people aren't able to see those internal wounds, so to speak. But I can feel it when you're out there and fighting. I can feel his energy bar. So it's like we all have an energy bar when we're fighting. Everybody plays Street Fighter before. Don't act like you guys ain't never played. And you hit somebody, even though they're blocking, that energy bar and life bar is going down. And I felt that was what was happening.
Yeah, last thing for me, I mean, you're focused on MMA for the time being. You're talking about leveling up. I mean, give us the idea. Where do you think you go from here? I mean, what level are you on now at this point?
I'm looking forward to being able to fight multiple times this year. I'm hoping my wife is going to be fighting in March. I would love to fight again in April. Fighting's like the holidays, always better to give than receive. I didn't receive a whole lot, so I'm ready to get back in the training lab and classic fight team and get back to work this week. So I would like to fight again in April and then come again in like July or August. I need to I want to level up on my next opponent as well. And then to be honest, I'm looking to go up in the top tier. Bellator's welterweight division is amazing. We have an amazing champion as the welterweight champion in Douglas Lima. I think I'm a fan, to be honest. I think he's a champion that other champions should model after. He's a family man, a man of God. He's a great role model. You don't see him out there hitting people or doing anything like that. So I would like to level up and eventually fight for that title. So and eventually fight some of the top guys in the food chain.
Raymond, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Good. All right, cool.
you are the real deal. Did that come at all from Evander Holyfield? Is that someone you look up to, or has nothing to do with it?
Yeah, Holyfield was an amazing talent back in the day, and when I was coming up, it was like him and Mike Tyson. I'm like, oh man, So yeah, he was somebody that I looked to. I loved his style, I loved his heart, I loved his grit. I loved how he was able to do it for such a long period, even when people thought he wasn't going to be able to. Even at an older age, he was able to do it. And, so when I was a young man, it was, and then the RD is my initials as well. So I felt it was like meant to be. And then the human highlight reel, I guess everybody kind of just started naming me that, so I just kind of rolled with it.
Last quick one for me.
Yes,
you had 10 years between your first MMA fight and this 2-fight win streak you're on. What was that about? Had you planned to have a career starting in 2008? And then also, did you pay attention to MMA in all these years between when you first jumped in?
My first one, I was a young man. I had opportunity presented itself, and being a young man, undefeated kickboxer at the time, no one could tell me anything at the time, so to speak. I was young and dumb, as they say, and so I just hopped into an MMA fight with zero wrestling training, zero jiu-jitsu training. I was like, oh, I'm knocking everybody out. I'm just gonna knock these guys out too. What's the difference? And I got a rude awakening and taken down, and you don't know what you don't know until you get told. So it was a great experience. I was raising my son at the time. I was a police officer at that time. I ruptured an Achilles tendon at that time. So I had a lot of different things going on in life. I had my own martial arts school as well. That was just, there's a time for it, and this is that time for it now.
Pretty dominant performance today. When you had raw fingers on the ground, did you have any inclination to try and grapple and get a submission, or was the game plan always just to strike and then go for the ground and pound?
I'm continuously working on my ground game, working on my jiu-jitsu. I work with Joe Murphy. I work with Kit Dell a little bit. I work with Ryan Hall a little bit. So I'm continuously working on evolving my jiu-jitsu. However, I understand that even the best jiu-jitsu people get submitted, because it's a serious and a dangerous game down there. So it's not that I'm not afraid to go down there or anything, but if I'm dominating in one particular field, why should I go and play in someone else's backyard when I can play in mine and I can do what I want there? Plus I don't feel that I'm able, I think it's cool to do the ankle locks and the chokes and stuff like that, but the fans, what they understand is when somebody jumps up in the air and spins around 2 times and punches them in the face, they're like, oh, well, what was that? So for me, I like to do things because I have a skill set that many other fighters don't possess, so to speak. So I like to go out and perform some different moves besides finishing on the ground. If that time comes, I will be ready for it, though.
Raymond, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the cage, it looked like you kind of backed off, expecting that the ref was just going to say, you know what, it is a wrap, and he wasn't going to get back up. Was that in your mind? Because that's what it looked like from the outside. Well,
it took him a while to get back up, to be honest. So, I don't know if there's technically a rule, because it is MMA and there is ground fighting and stand-up fighting, but in kickboxing or any type of fighting, if I hit a man and he goes down and he's not able to get back up on his own will immediately, I thought the fight would have been stopped or whatever the case was. That wasn't the case. Obviously, the ref is in there and he's doing his job, and he can't drop my Reese's. He's in there and he's doing his job, and he's calling the fight how he sees, and if he thinks the person's aware. He was. People don't understand that, usually people see a person get hit and they get knocked unconscious and it's like, oh, the fight is over. But you can kick someone in the body so hard that they're still conscious, but it is almost next to impossible for them to get up. And he was on the ground. I don't know, I wasn't really 1, 2 or anything, but it seemed like he was down there for quite some time.
Correct me if you mentioned Douglas Lima, but I think after watching that fight, a lot of people are going to be like, hey, what about Daniels MVP? I know you've got experience with him. Is that on your radar possibly?
People always compare Mike and I. Mike is a little bit younger than me, so I think he gets his style a little bit from where I come from because we come from the same environment. But he's not necessarily on my radar. People compare us because we both control time and space a little bit really well. I think we're completely different fighters, to be honest. But people see that movement and that distance because we come from a similar background. I don't really necessarily have an interest to fight him off the bat or anything like that. If he had the title, I want to be the best, and that's. If you check my resume, no matter what league I've ever competed in, I've always risen to the top. When I did it in my sport karate days, I did it in WCL with Chuck Norris, I did it in Glory, I did it in Bellator kickboxing, and now I've arrived at Bellator MMA. And if you check my resume, every time I've risen to the top and I've obtained that title, so that's where I plan to go now as well.
Were you
were you happy of your grappling tonight? Because there was actually a bit of grappling. Were
Yeah.
happy? And more importantly, were your coaches happy of your
My coaches were, they were like, you got to use some of the stuff we worked on. I was like, yeah, you know. So I mean, I love my coaches. They're super patient with me. They know I'm a workhorse. Don't mind me if my eyes get distracted. My teammate Juan is fighting at the same time right now, so I'm multitasking. But my coaches are very patient with me. They give me the tools that I need in order to make sure I'm able to perform. Each time I'm evolving, so this is the evolution of my game, and it's just the beginning. So everybody's getting to see like a little. You just get just a little taste, like this little bite-sized bag of Reese's. This is not the whole big bag that they used to give me, but when I get that big bag and when I'm able to do it, I'm looking forward to it. So I'm looking forward to continue to grow. Like I said, I want to fight again in April. Then I plan to fight again in July. And then come towards the end of the year, I'll list. I know Bellator doesn't necessarily have a ranking, but I'll do a ranking of who I believe is the top guys here in Bellator. And I would like to fight somebody up in there just to continue to challenge myself, because I'm not here to take over. I'm not here to take part. I'm here to show everybody that I am and will be the greatest of all time. And they always say, Conor McGregor, he has the red panty thing fighting him. I guess you call mine. I'm gonna call mine the brown draws event. I'm a spin kick the doo-doo out of the shit out of everybody. No, I'm just joking. But no, I just good fun. I'm here to have a great time, continue to push myself, and continue to raise the bar. To be honest.
Well, thanks very much.
All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Hey.